You gotta be fucking kidding me. Hey guys, I had a request recently to do sort of a guitar tone guide for Billie Joe Armstrong, and while I may not know as much about Billie Joe as I do say about like Tom DeLonge or some other guitar players, I definitely feel like achieving Billie Joe's tone is pretty achievable with fairly limited resources. So what I have here is just the custom strat that I put together recently, and this has a humbucker in it that Billie Joe is very well or very widely known to use, and this is the Seymour Duncan JB, and it's basically what he used in almost all of like their early stuff. If you are familiar with like his blue strat that has the angled humbucker, that has a JB in it, and it's a very popular pickup, and it's just a really good all-around pickup for just rock and roll and stuff like that. And he does use the JB in a lot of his guitars, but that's kind of like half of what he does, because if you want to sound something like, you know, When I Come Around or Basket Case, or, you know, some of the earlier stuff, the JB is the way to go, and, you know, you can't really go wrong with it in a Strat. It does sound very good altogether. Now, a lot of the later stuff that they do, like some American Idiot stuff, some even, you know, more recent than that, he does do some stuff with this sort of sound, but a lot of it kind of drifted towards P90s. And P90s are great because they just sound really fat and raw and just great for punk rock and that sort of style. And while I don't really have a specific P90 in mind, any sort of like Gibson P90 is going to definitely get you the sound that you're looking for, as long as you have the right amp, which I'll get to. And another thing is, I'll definitely recommend bare knuckle P90s. I mean, I had a bare knuckle super massive in the Les Paul Jr. that I recently sold, and that was a great pickup. Definitely great for Green Day and that sort of stuff. I used it in a couple Green Day covers, actually, or at least one Green Day cover for Pop Rocks and Coke, and I thought it sounded great for that. Amp-wise, I'm definitely going to kind of give you the basic sort of setup, because this is going to be kind of like your save your money sort of setup. He uses some pretty expensive older Marshalls, and I don't know what kind of cabs he uses, to be quite honest, but I'm assuming they're just Marshall cabs, although I could be wrong, I really don't know. But it's very achievable to get that sort of sound if you have a Marshall style pedal. For example, I'm using the lovepedal purple plexi, and it's just a very Marshall sounding pedal. But there are a lot of different types of plexi style pedals out there. Like another one's called it's made by Wampler. It's like the plexi-drive, I think. Basically look for like a plexi style pedal, and you're definitely going to get that older Marshall sort of driven tone that can easily go over the clean channel of basically any amp you have. I mean, yeah, I'm using my Mesa right now, but with this pedal off, it's just the clean setting. So let me show you. So, like I said, clean setting, and I just throw this Purple plexi on. Or granted, that's a little more driven than what Billie Joe would be using, but you know, turn the gain down a little bit. So yeah, overall, I mean, the amp itself, I don't feel like matters too much as long as you have a really good plexi type pedal. Although, you know, there probably are some decent amps out there that you could check out that have Marshall style settings on them. Like I know Black Star makes a couple modeling amps that have like your sort of English style overdrive kind of tones on it, which could replicate it pretty well. I wouldn't really recommend Orange for that sort of style because Orange definitely just has a sound all their own. Same with Mesa. I mean, with a Mesa, I mean, you can get great tones, but it's not really going to sound like Green Day. And, you know, it's a pretty simple setup. I mean, one thing I will say about the pickups, you could probably put the JB in, you know, like a darker tone guitar like a Les Paul or something like that, or even in a Strat and it'll sound fine. You can definitely get some Green Day sort of tones on it, but I wouldn't really recommend putting like a P90, at least some P90s. I wouldn't put like certain P90s in a Strat. I would go for more like something like Mahogany, like a Les Paul Jr. or an SG Jr., something like that that has like a darker sort of vibe to it, because it's definitely going to suit the pickup a lot more. So anyway, that's all I really have to say. I mean, you could check out their rig rundown. I know they did one that's on YouTube, but you kind of have to get creative if you don't want to spend, you know, thousands of dollars to get his sort of sound. Like I said, it's a very simple setup, but you just have to kind of figure out what sort of sound of his that you're trying to go for, because although they might sound similar to like the untrained ear, you know, you could definitely tell if he's using like a low gain sort of P90, just light crunch, or just like the full driven rock with like a, you know, the Strat with the humbucker in it. So overall, that's about it. I hope this helped, and if you have any questions or anything, I'll do my best to help. And you know, like I said, I'm not the, you know, the biggest Green Day fan in the world, even though, you know, I actually am wearing a Green Day shirt. Complete coincidence. But anyway, let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, concerns, whatever, feel free to let me know. So thanks for watching. Oh, and if you have any suggestions for maybe some other guitarists that you might want to try and achieve those sort of tones for, let me know. I might be able to help.